Hi, and welcome to another episode of The Power of Data. Today, we bring to you the data from high-frequency indicators of economic recovery, which are available under the India Pulse at ISB tab on the India Data portal. Friends, petroleum has been on the center stage for some time now, isn't it? With the fluctuation in petrol and diesel prices in India, consumption trends have been quite important for both economists and journalists. So, let us hear today's insight to understand how COVID-19 impacted petroleum consumption across the country. And to know more about this, we have with us Dr. Aarushi Jain. Welcome to our studio, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Avantika. It's always a pleasure being here. The advent of COVID-19 in India led to several repercussions at multiple levels. As you know, from industrial slowdown to restricted public movement, even major economic activity, everything got affected. The lack of public movement also affected the vehicle mobility.
I see.
And as you intend to discuss the petroleum consumption, Avantika, according to the Petroleum Planning and Analysis Cell, PPAC, the consumption of petrol, which is the motor spirit, came down drastically to 973,000 metric tons in April 2020 during the lockdown from around 2,500 TMT in February 2020.
Oh.
So, after the 90-day lockdown period, if we are calculating, say, from April 2020 to June 2020, when the government of India started the unlock phase, the consumption rate again bounced back and it came back to 2,280,000 metric tons. So, so we could see that dip and we could also see the bounce back in terms of petroleum consumption in the country. So the increase rate here was around 134% in June 2020 itself.
That was tremendous, I would say. And thank you, Dr. Jain, for throwing so much light on it. I mean, I'm sure our listeners have way more clarity on this now. So, it is really heartening to understand the economic recovery from, the perspective of petroleum in the post-lockdown time. Can you also briefly talk about any other data that can depict a similar trend?
Yes, of course, Avantika, a lot of data is available and these high frequency indicators do give us very, very interesting insights when we talk about the economic recovery in particular. So another interesting data is the Google mobility data. And if we compare the petroleum consumption with the Google mobility trend of public stations, here I'm talking of the percentage change of mobility trends for places like public transport hubs, such as, the bus, the train, the subway stations, all of that. So we observed that the mobility decreased to around minus 63% in April 2020. But it started to bounce back and it was minus 31% in June 2020. So you can clearly see the impact of the lockdown, both in terms of the petroleum consumption as well as the mobility trends do give us further insights into all of this.
That was really enriching and I would almost say enlightening, Dr. Aarushi Jain. Thank you so much for coming into our studio today. Friends, if you want to know more about such data sets, log on to www.indiadataportal.com.